Story 1. When I was in university, a woman once told me that the green shirt I was wearing complimented my eyes. Since then, I have spent the last 30 years wearing green shirts. Please let us know if our clothes look nice. Story 2. I have been told I have nice eyelashes by a woman. I don't even know what makes good eyelashes, but it still felt nice to hear. Story 3. New ones. A man who has been told he is funny all his life really wants to hear that he is attractive. A man who has been called handsome all his life wants to be recognized for his intelligence. Show that you see more in them than anyone else. That makes a compliment memorable. Story 4. All of them from smallest to biggest. I receive any compliment that I enjoy, even the smallest kind from a woman. I work with 30 guys in a factory. When one of us gets new shoes or workwear, we always tell each other that it looks good. You won't believe it, but men aged 50 to 60 show off their clothes with a smile, just like a girl. This is how rare we receive compliments. Just say what is on your mind, from "wow, you are strong," to "oh my gosh, I love your perfume." It may mean nothing to you, but those people will work out and never buy a different scent. Story 5. I was wearing a Zion National Park shirt once at the pharmacy. I am 66 now. This was a year ago. The cute pharmacy technician asked me if I hiked. I said, "Yes, what makes you think that?" She replied, "Well, the shirt and you look really fit." I have replayed that in my head endlessly. Story 6. Back in university, about 10 years ago, a random attractive stranger told me I have nice fingernails out of the blue while I was at the library. Since that day, I have always kept my nails short and neat. I remember her every time I trim them. Story 7. When someone close to you knows you are trying to improve at something and respects and supports your efforts verbally. Story 8. My girlfriend complimented me by calling me gorgeous unexpectedly last year, and I am still feeling the joy from it, literally in any situation. Story 9. In my experience, it's important to express your thoughts honestly and specifically about the people you care about. For example, I tell my boyfriend whenever I think of something I appreciate about him. I mention that he is handsome, that he has lovely eyes, and that I love the shape of his eyebrows. When his hair looks particularly nice, I let him know. I appreciate how well he dresses and admire his physique. I also thank him for the favor he did for me, as he made a dull task more enjoyable. I appreciate his good sense of humor and nice laugh, and I'm glad he values my intelligence. He is also a great driver. Most importantly, I love him very much. Story 10. I will be honest with you. Most men perceive receiving a compliment as being hit on, as that is how we typically use compliments. We also do not receive many compliments, so depending on your intentions and your relationship with the man, a compliment could be interpreted in different ways. I recommend sticking to something simple, like, "I like your shirt or shoes," if you just want to brighten someone's day. However, the most important thing is for the compliment to be genuine. I understand that women often use compliments with friends to boost their self-esteem or to show affection, but the average man, myself included, is not accustomed to this and is also not used to receiving positive attention. I mention this because I am weary of seeing posts from women complaining about a man thinking he is being hit on because she gave him a compliment, leading to awkward situations. It is not really anyone's fault, but those posts are often seized upon by individuals with anti-male sentiments pushing the narrative that all men are untrustworthy, while some men retaliate with poor arguments that only validate the previous group's stance. Story 11. Personally, I don't care as much about compliments on my personality, style, or tastes because I am already confident in those areas. I crave validation about my physical attractiveness because I generally receive no feedback on that. We want to be complimented on things we haven't heard before. For example, tall individuals often do not see being called tall as a compliment. Compliments should be genuine. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Find something you can sincerely compliment. Story 12. I personally dislike compliments on subjects I have no influence over. Take "you have nice eyes," for example. I know it's meant kindly, but it does nothing for me since I haven't done anything to achieve those eyes. It's just luck. The same goes for compliments about my intelligence, height, hair color, and skin tone. I did nothing for those attributes. Complimenting me for the fortunate genes I received feels pointless. However, I love to be complimented on things I work on. My clothing style, my fitness and physique, not the height but the muscle, my knowledge of various issues and my passion for my career, my empathy, my patience, and so on. Those are all areas I actively work on, so a compliment in those contexts is meaningful to me. I've actually spent time and energy to achieve those qualities, and receiving recognition for them makes me feel appreciated and validated. Story 13. Something related to personality or skills. I don't enjoy receiving compliments about my appearance very much. Story 14. Compliments of service and worth. Things that indicate my efforts are meaningful and appreciated. Story 15. Weeks ago, I was in conversation with a group of women, one of whom is a good friend of mine. One of the other women said it's a positive sign that my fingernails look nice, which I know is a low bar. However, my friend then said, he's a walking positive sign for so many other things. It felt great to hear that, and I keep thinking about it. Story 16. Almost 20 years ago, a British woman told me, "You have a glorious talent." I have cherished that compliment for 2 decades. Story 17. A blind girl said I had the voice of a boy band. It is the most unique and wonderful compliment I have ever received. Story 18. Honestly, anything even remotely positive is appreciated. I am not sure if I speak for everyone, but compliments as a man are rare. A random compliment, even something as simple as "you have nice eyes," can stay with you for ages. Story 19. Hello, it's nice to meet you. If you're interested, I think you look great. Story 20. What a handsome man. I dated someone who said this whenever we saw each other, and it felt uplifting. Compliment your friends like you would when they are feeling insecure. Give genuine compliments unexpectedly when they are getting ready to leave the house, and do so in a casual manner, not just when you are alone. Story 21. I often receive compliments on my mustache from young ladies. My wife sometimes feels a bit jealous because she is present when they compliment me. She says, "Don't encourage him, he will never cut it off." Story 22. A woman called me handsome the other day, and I swear it will sustain me for years. As someone with very low self-esteem, it was surprising to hear, and I couldn't believe she meant it. It made me grin and smile all weekend. Story 23. A year ago, a girl in the gym asked me if the gym equipment was free to use. That was the last time a girl talked to me in person. Compliments don't matter. We rarely have women who initiate even a simple conversation. Anything would make the majority of men remember you for years. Story 24. About the things we do or how good we look. They need to be genuine. Sure, a compliment about my clothes is nice, but that's a compliment for my clothes, not for me, if you know what I mean. As men, we are often deprived of compliments, so any genuine compliment makes us happy at this point. Story 25. I didn't know men could be this good at this. Made me laugh the other day as I started to think of all the famous men within that area of expertise. It was used randomly. Story 26. I didn't realize your presence would be so fulfilling. You are not nearly as unaware as I thought you were. Simple things like this can brighten someone's life. Story 27. The only time I have received compliments has been when people want something from me or want me to do something. I am much more content not receiving any, as that trust was broken decades ago. Story 28. Just about everyone is different. If you know someone well and they have shared an insecurity with you, that could be a great aspect to compliment. If their concern is about their unibrow, avoid telling them how good their eyebrows look after shaving. Instead, play it a little dumb and approach the topic gently. You look good today. Did you do something different? Something definitely seems different. Story 29. One of the best compliments I have received from my girlfriend is that she feels completely safe being herself around me. Story 30. I am actively putting effort into this. Please do not compliment my shirt unless you can recognize that I spent a lot of time choosing and designing it. You will need to pay attention and see me for who I truly am, rather than who you might expect me to be. Story 31. Tell him you have never seen such a brilliant and diverse collection of scrap wood. The foresight he must have to hold on to that seemingly worthless material for just the right moment. Story 32. Cooking generates the most compliments, followed closely by the use of my hands as massage tools, releasing deep-seated stress. I appreciate how well you understand me through your touch. Story 33. The last compliment I received was in ninth grade. A classmate told me I had beautiful blue eyes. I immediately felt the social awkwardness rise and replied, "You too," before leaving quickly. It wasn't easy to escape as we were doing line dancing for gym class. That was about 15 years ago. Story 34. I work at a deli, and a lady was telling me about her job helping the elderly while I was making her order. It made me smile. She paused in the middle of her story and said that I have one of those smiles that can light up a room. I didn't know what to say. I don't remember if I responded. I think I said thank you, but I remember the feeling, and that is a wonderful feeling, thank goodness. Story 35. Literally anything as long as it is genuine. It is often underestimated how many compliments men receive throughout their lives. Simply being told that we smell nice, or given a compliment on our shirt or shoes, makes a significant impact and we remember it for years to come. Story 36. I hadn't seen an attractive girl I knew for a while. We ran into each other at a party, and the first thing she said to me was, "Wow, you look great." I received that compliment about 20 years ago, and it's still the best one I've ever had. Story 37. What kind? Many men may struggle to answer this sensibly because they have never experienced it. It's similar to asking, would you rather drive your Ferrari or your Bugatti? How could I know? I don't own either, and I've never driven either. Story 38. I'm not big on compliments, but I do appreciate it when someone notices my choice of cologne. It's not weird or overly flattering. It's just nice. Story 39. As long as it's genuine, I'm not sure where the disconnect is that we don't need or want it. It goes deep and lasts forever. Story 40. I enjoy receiving compliments about my physique and appearance when they are general. If someone truly knows me, I appreciate compliments on the aspects I am working on, such as my character and achievements. Story 41. Literally any genuine compliment. I personally like to compliment other guys on their fashion choices if I genuinely appreciate what they are doing. If I like their sneakers, I let them know, "Those are sick, bro. I haven't seen that color before. It looks awesome." Or maybe it's a t-shirt with a fandom I also enjoy, or even something that just looks cool. Is that a Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen shirt? I'm not a fan myself, but that shirt is awesome. Have a good day, man. We are typically emotionally starved, and when someone says something positive about us in a genuine, momentary manner, we really appreciate it. Story 42. A girl in high school complimented my forearms unexpectedly. I was surprised because I didn't think women noticed such things. I will always remember that. Story 43. Receiving compliments as a man is significant, especially when they pertain to how we make others feel, such as being kind or warm. Genuine compliments bring happiness, so we should normalize giving them, focusing not only on beauty standards but also on character. Story 44. If the compliment follows an unexpected and unsolicited act with effort and enthusiasm, then you can expect that compliment to stand out above all others. Story 45. Praise for what we have accomplished. Men create value through their actions. Women have an inherent value that men appreciate initially. Women's actions can either enhance or diminish that value. Story 46. I am from the South, where "bless your heart" can be an insult. It is not just what you say but how you say it. Story 47. I remember hearing that the best compliment a man can receive is that he has a good life. This can mean many things, but you know it when you see it. Sometimes he might not even recognize it himself. Story 48. Personally, anything that aligns with my efforts is appreciated. Acknowledge my behaviors and show that my contributions are valued and not overlooked. It is important that the small actions I take, which contribute to the larger picture, are recognized for what they are. These small efforts can lead to significant differences and should be acknowledged. Story 49. My beard is like another pet. I have invested a lot of care into it, and my chin hasn't seen sunlight in over a decade. I know it looks good because others often compliment it. My beard receives compliments from straight men but not women. Please feed its ego. Story 50. Let us know we are doing enough and are enough. Many times, something as simple as, "How was your day?" or "I like that haircut," can change a mood. Show you care and we will move mountains. Story 51. Literally anything. You could say that some of my freckles are placed like a beautiful constellation, and I'd be a happy man. Story 52. Anything as long as you really mean it. Most men do not receive many compliments, so anything feels good. Story 53. Brilliant, fantastic, and amazing are a few that I actually enjoy as opposed to good or not bad. Oh, hello again. Don't you have somewhere else to be? Story 54. His character and personality are honest and genuine. Compliments about what he can provide or his accomplishments do not truly reflect appreciation for the person. Story 55. Anything, really. I can only remember one compliment that I received that wasn't from family or my significant other. It was simply, "Hey, I really like your shirt." Story 56. Please give me a compliment related to an achievement of mine that required significant effort. This could be about building muscle, maintaining a well-groomed beard, or being skilled in any craft, implicitly acknowledging the discipline it took to master it. Story 57. In the 5 love languages for children, there's a story of a teacher who had her class write nice things about each classmate. She consolidated the compliments onto one paper for each child. At a funeral for a Vietnam veteran years later, the parents revealed that the paper he received long ago was on his body, showing signs of being looked at many times. All the classmates who were present then slowly confessed that they had kept theirs as well and read them often. Some even carried them with them. This illustrates the power of telling others the good things you notice about them. Attentive listening, intelligent expressions, and how someone was nice to a stranger are admirable traits. Behavioral and character compliments resonate much more than looks. Although all expressions of appreciation are welcome, if their love language is words of encouragement, it will affect them even more deeply, likely for the rest of their lives. Story 58. I think compliments about physical appearance are nicer, as they often boost my ego significantly. Story 59. Compliment him for who he is, not just for what he does. Avoid minimizing your praise with "but" statements. Do not compare him to others negatively. He doesn't want to hear, "I like this about you because you're not like those other men." Story 60. I appreciate when an older person calls me a good person. It makes me feel like I am navigating through life well. Story 61. That shirt looks nice on you. You're really good at walking. Both of your eyes seem functional. Good work. Nice job waking up again today. You haven't disappointed me yet. Keep it up. Story 62. A guy called my shoes beautiful. They're Air Force Ones at an ice cream shop, and it's the best compliment I've received in years. It's nice when your partner compliments you, but getting a compliment from a fellow straight guy as a straight guy feels different because it happens so infrequently. Story 63. Anything that is not an inherent trait, such as height, will generally be well received. Story 64. I appreciate compliments when I have made an effort to change something and someone notices. Comments about physical features that I cannot control do not appeal to me. However, if someone compliments me after I have worked hard to get in shape or recognizes the effort I have put into a hobby or task, I truly value those compliments. Story 65. The last compliments I received, besides those from my girlfriend, have been from nurses who said they liked my veins or from older men who said I was handsome or that I had a nice shirt. It has been over 5 years since then. Just say something, anything, as long as it is genuine. Story 66. I don't need a compliment, but I do need actions that show me you care. I could go my whole life without a compliment, but I need to be loved. Story 67. It is surprising how many people here actually received genuine compliments, considering we are discussing Reddit users. Story 68. Any kind, really. A girl once told me my legs looked nice, and I have been thinking they do for the past 9 to 10 years. Story 69. Honestly, compliment me by giving me space. Recognize my need for silence occasionally and be an active partner in providing that opportunity. That's the best compliment you could ever give. Doing the groundwork with siblings, addressing tasks in the area, and interacting with people just for a little while goes a long way. You wouldn't believe it. Story 70. People often joke and say, "Nice compliment, my friend." But honestly, I showed my confidence one time and my wife said, "Nice compliment, my friend." I would be lying if I said I didn't appreciate it. Story 71. Someone might think that it is superficial, but that is easy to say when you are often complimented for your appearance. Story 72. When they put in real effort, I have acknowledged them. I know even the toughest individuals feel elated here. Story 73. I enjoy hearing nice things about myself. No one has ever shared them with me, so please say anything. Story 74. I appreciate it when people recognize the little quirks I have, as it makes me feel acknowledged. Even if it's not a compliment per se, it means a lot to me. Story 75. You have lost weight, your beard looks good, and you look cool. I'm glad you are here, mate. These are all lovely things we love to hear. Story 76. A lady walked past me today at work, turned her head, smiled, maintained eye contact, and said, "Hi." It instantly made my day a little better for a while. Story 77. Women seem puzzled by this, but it's more true than truth has ever been when I tell you. Men rarely receive genuine compliments. If you want to test this theory, find a random man in a public place and give him a sincere compliment. You will get a look of confusion at first because, again, men don't receive compliments. Then there may be slightly off-putting body language because he might expect a prank or ridicule, putting up his defenses before shrugging it off. He might quickly prepare to respond with some sharp remarks, showcasing his quick wit. Once he realizes that you are being sincere and genuine, he will smile and be unsure of how to react because he has never had to. This is true for the vast majority of men, even those who appear confident and successful. Most men don't start going to the gym until they have a compelling reason to care about themselves, and they do it to improve their well-being, not to impress others. Many men exercise as a way to cope with emotional pain and mental challenges. It's commonly understood that the only time a man receives flowers is at his funeral. But I believe if you give a man flowers, he will learn how to grow them in his garden just to have a reminder that someone once appreciated his existence. Story 78. Being called handsome is flattering. I appreciate it when someone calls me attractive, but there is something about the word handsome that feels particularly meaningful. Story 79. If it's a genuine compliment rather than one leading up to asking for a favor, I would appreciate it. Honestly, I rarely receive compliments unless they are intended as a prelude to a request. While I cannot speak for all men, I believe I am not alone in this experience. Story 80. I was in a bar one evening when an attractive lady complimented me on how well I was dressed. Felt great. A few minutes later, she walked toward the front door with 3 or 4 men. I assumed she was the designated driver. She stopped in front of me and said to the guys, "This is how you want to look when you're out for the night." This was probably 10 years ago, and I still remember it fondly. Story 81. Praise my muscles like my male friends do. Hype me up. I blush and feel incredibly proud. I am overweight but have been going to the gym since last year, so I am big and have some muscles. Story 82. I would suggest giving a compliment about anything someone has clearly invested time or effort into. Compliments about height, voice, or appearance are nice, but acknowledging physical fitness that has been cultivated through dedication and exercise, or a skill that has been practiced and refined, is more meaningful. Receiving appreciation for something you have worked hard on validates your efforts. Story 83. Anytime someone says something nice about us, we think they are in love with us because it is so rare. Story 84. I walked past a man one time coming out of my optometrist's office, and he smelled so good. I was upset that they had messed up my glasses, and his cologne smelled so nice it made me smile. I turned and told him, "Excuse me, I'm sorry if this is weird, but you smell really good, and I thought you should know." He kind of laughed and said, "Thanks, I guess," and looked at me strangely. I left because I felt really awkward. I still think about that day and am hesitant to tell men they smell nice or look nice because his reaction was odd. Story 85. A female friend of mine greeted me once, saying, "Hey, how are you doing, handsome?" It made me feel really good. Story 86. Handsome with appealing physical features, or validation for managing an unsafe situation or addressing someone disrespectfully. Story 87. It was 4 years ago when my hair reached around my waist. Two girls shouted out to me. I turned to face them. They said, "Wow, you have such long and beautiful hair. What kind of products do you use?" I was somewhat dumbfounded. At first, I responded with, "Thanks. I use." I still remember those good old days and smile like an idiot. Story 88. We appreciate all compliments and enjoy being acknowledged in a positive way. This is something that pleases most people. Story 89. My husband has told me that any genuine compliment will make a man's day. Something as simple as, "You look nice in that outfit," will give him a confidence boost every time he wears that outfit. Story 90. A man once told me he wanted to play ... with my freckles. I had a boyfriend at the time, but it was a memorable line that I still recall 30 years later. Story 91. Basically, anything genuine is appreciated. I'm not great with compliments, but a sincere remark that you truly believe is always nice. Additionally, something specific and not commonly mentioned is pleasant as well. For example, saying, "You look good," is nowhere near as impactful as, "Your blue shirt goes really well with those trousers." It shows you thought about what you said, and it makes us feel confident in our choices. Story 92. I don't think you understand how compliment-deprived many men are. You could say almost anything, and most will think about it for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Story 93. A girl I liked once told me she really liked the color of my eyes. I had never been told anything like that before, aside from the usual generic compliments, so it really stood out to me. Story 94. On Friday, I was talking with a woman at work about my dad. I mentioned how he is a kind and gentle person, and she said, "I can see where you get it from." Story 95. I cannot stand receiving compliments. They make me extremely uncomfortable. If you show me the same respect I give to you, no compliments are needed. Story 96. An acquaintance compared me to someone else in a discussion with a small group yesterday and said, "Well, he's a real man and name just isn't." I couldn't help but feel validated and recognized. Story 97. Anything the complimenter actually means, if you say it from the heart and believe it's true, that's what matters. Story 98. 1. Nice shirt. 2. Cool dog. 3. Good dog. 4. Any compliment about how wonderful my dog is. 5. Nice watch. 6. Nice nails. I never thought I would like this compliment because I do not do anything to my nails other than chew them. Story 99. Good job. I don't need to be complimented on the body I was born into or the gadgets I have purchased, or my sense of fashion. I want to be appreciated for my skills and hard work, things I have done, rather than what I am or what I have accumulated. Story 100. The kind you truly mean and want to express, not the words you use to make someone feel better. We can tell the difference. Story 101. Think of the qualities and traits we possess and focus on those. People tend to be too vague. If you spend just a few minutes considering a person's characteristics, you can easily compliment them on a much more meaningful level. Is that person reliable, honest, optimistic, trustworthy, comforting, caring, fearless, courageous, brave, intelligent, intuitive, innovative, or inspiring? Regarding looks, what do you like? Jawline, eyes, chest, legs, facial hair, head hair, eyebrows, jewelry, etc. Regarding status, do they volunteer? Do they work in a trade? Are they pursuing their passion? Are they a community ambassador? Once you start to descriptively evaluate a person, you will come up with many qualities. Just make sure that what you mention is something you actually believe. In 2024, I've been called handsome a few times, but being told that I have a beautiful smile stands out as the most meaningful compliment. Story 102. Best praise. They have never made me feel so rich. It's the biggest one I have ever seen. This is the first time I feel like this. I value what you do. Story 103. I appreciate compliments on my graphic t-shirts, and I do receive them occasionally. Yesterday, I received many compliments, including 3 people who took pictures of my shirt. Story 104. For the love of God, I'm tired of women making it about themselves all the time. We like to feel special too. Story 105. Some girl and her coworkers called me Big Deal Energy long before I knew what it meant. When I found out, it was one of the best compliments I've ever received. Story 106. As long as it's meant as a compliment, it's good. My favorite belongs in another category. It starts with your and ends with delicious, and usually leaves them wanting more. Story 107. Nice shirt. Nice pants. You smell good. You're strong. You're attractive. Some simple compliments go a long way. They can be short and sweet. Story 108. The same as women, essentially. Appearance, intelligence, values, personality traits, and more. We appreciate the same qualities. We are just conditioned to respond differently to them. Story 109. Honestly, sincere individuals do not use others to gain something for themselves. This feeling seems pretty universal regardless of gender. Story 110. I would have to say that the last time I was complimented was in 2022, and I don't remember the time before that. Story 111. You notice something nice I did, like when I cleaned the windows, fixed the garden sprinkler system, or did the laundry. Anything really. Doesn't every person like to be noticed? Story 112. For me, compliment my personality or something else that is not physical. I am not conventionally attractive, so saying you look attractive would come off as a sarcastic jab. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.